Hi, and welcome to the first of my anime studio tutorial. My name is Gustavo Guzman, and I will be showing you how I create and rig my characters. The character that I will be building will be very basic. It will just show um, the basic use of the tools that I use, and how I go about um, creating the overall rig. Now let's get started. What I do is I either add points or I draw shape. You can either add points by clicking and dragging. Let's say, for example, I'm going to create a very basic arm, nothing fancy. Once it snaps, you have these. You have auto weld, which will from loose point to loose point and create a shape. You have autofill, which when each end meet will automatically create the fill-in. For this, we'll keep autofill on for now. Same thing can be done with bucket fill. Okay, to create sharp corners in an object, we use this tool right here, curvature. So we click on this point and we drag to create a sharp edge. You can then go to translate points, continue moving points around till we get the shape we want. Oops. Not make it too bulgy. Takes practice and patience. Go right here, again curvature, sharp corners, sharp corners, sharp corners. We then move points around. Just try to see how we can. On mouse wheel, we'll zoom in and out of your scene. Right mouse click, hold right mouse click if you want to move your scene around entirely, and left mouse click to operate on your object or your points. So we continue to click around just to make a basic little shape. Like I said, nothing fancy, just taking it easy. You want all the shape to be selected at one time, just click on an area where there is no points, middle, and your points should all be selected. For this piece right here, the intersecting piece, there are two ways to go about this. You can either break this down in two parts, create these things separately for animation, or join these two corners, fill this one on top, and go here to hide edge, hide this edge, keeping that edge visible. You want to sharpen your corners. You can go to line width. You can do this anywhere you like to stylize your character. You like to add a little extra on your character. Heavy on some sides, light on another. It's up to you. your own taste. Let's just keep it simple. We do the same thing for the form. Bucket film. And we'll just keep that there. So here we go. We have a basic arm. As I said, it's going to be very simple, just to demonstrate how it's all done. The reason why I laid in a bucket fill over the existing color was to make it overlap. Once this bends, the color above it will hide the color beneath it. So when this bends, when the arm bends, it'll look much more realistic. We had a little shape there just to give it a little more bend. Okay, now we can move on to setting up the bones. For bones, you go right here, new layer, bone, and now the shape layer, the layer for the bone is created. What you do is you take this layer, the bottom layer, left click, hold it down, and push it up towards the bone layer, releasing it. Now attaches it to the bone layer. Once that's done, we go over to the bone tools. We go over first. We'll go to our bone layer, and then we'll go to our add bone right here with the little cross. We'll take our mouse, left click, hold down, stretch out, create the first bone layer, release, press down, create our second bone layer, release, press down, create our third bone layer. The way this is, once you create it, it automatically creates a parent and child hierarchy, which you can see by looking in here. You don't have to conform to this. You can always reparent it as you wish. Like, for example, if I don't want it like that, I can always just click on it. Click on each bone. Click away from it. And reparent it any way I wish. See, I can now reparent it this way. For this tutorial, we will keep it as it was. Hopefully, let's back it up. There we go. Then we go to manipulate bones, and we move our bone around. As you can see, the shape sticks to the bone. The bone gives it movement. Now, if you don't like the stretchy look, if you notice it's like a little, there's a stretchy look, what you do is you go to bone layer, you have to double click, I'll go to this layer settings, double click on it, you go to bones, and you can select one of these two, flexible binding or region binding. This will bind it to the nearest area. So now, when we switch our bones, you notice it's a bit more rigid. The shape is maintained a little more. You notice how the hand part of the rig sort of doesn't really grab onto it. What you do, you should go to bone strength and you dial it up. You can do that with everything else just to make sure it is the way you want. So as now, as you can see now, it's looking much better. looking a lot better. Once that's done, we will go over to select bone. We select the bones, and now we select the bone constraint. This will allow the bone to go as far as the constraints allow it to. So we hit here and we dial it to where you think would be good. When we move the bone around, see, now the bone will only move as far as these constraints allow it to move. This is perfect for animation. Once you rig up your puppet, you will not want it to be flying all around the place. You won't want it to be swiveling all around the place. You will want it to have a little more control over the swivel action. Do the same thing here. Angle constraints. Dial it down to about there. Let's see what this looks. Let's see what this looks like. This looks pretty good. Goes up here, goes back here. Has a nice squash effect. Same thing for the hand. Go here, select bone, bone constraints, hand constraints. Let's see. There you go. Once that's complete, we're ready to animate. Simple as going to the first frame. You can pretty much set your frames here for right now. 1 to maybe a value of 50 should be fine for me. We go here to manipulate bones. Throw the arm back. We'll move it over to 12. We'll move it over to 24. We'll move it over to 36. And now we have this animated movement going on. If I wanted to return to its original position while animating, I can simply just select these 2 points here. The red one is selected bone angle, means the selected bone that I have now that is shown in red. The other one is just a bone angle, which are the unselected ones. The rest of it. So what we do is we copy, we move over to frame 50, and we paste. So now the arm does this thing, snaps back to the beginning. Okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed this brief tutorial. I hope it's useful. And best of luck. Thanks for your time.